Good evening, everyone. My name is Luis Perez-Beatty. I serve as chair of the Historic Districts Commission in Concord. Welcome to the January 5, 2023 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. The commission will review, excuse me, 2 new applications, and at the end, we'll conduct other business. We're conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comments on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the Commission. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you're calling in and cannot use the platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking to preserve bandwidth and may need to turn off video except for the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. I will call on each commissioner for comments on an application and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission to continue, to approve with conditions, or to reject. A second, and conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. Before I make a roll call, I want to acknowledge Walton Clay and William Hewitt, who will be joining the commission as associate members nominated by the Planning Board and the Concord Museum. While their nomination has not been formally made by the Select Board, we expect this will take place on January 9th, and that they will officially join the Historic District Commission after that date. I also want to recognize Abigail Flanagan and Peter Novelly, who finished their terms as full members of the Commission. On behalf of the Commission, please accept our sincere gratitude for your services and for your strong commitment to uphold the standards of the Historic Districts Commission. I will now do a roll call of the members of the Commission that are present. Kate Chartiner.
Present.
Dennis Fiore.
Here.
Catherine Mast.
Present.
Henry Moss.
Present.
Melinda Shumway. Where's Melinda?
She's there.
She's there.
Yeah.
Muted.
Well, we know she's muted. Yeah, you are there. You are there, and I'm here.
Yeah.
I want to check whether our Select Board liaison is present. Mr. Henry Dane, is Mr. Dane present? Doesn't seem he's present. I will ask the town planner staff to note the absence of the Select Board liaison. Voting members tonight will be Mrs. Chartiner, Mr. Fiore, Mr. Mast, Mrs. Mast, Mrs. Shumway, and myself. Okay, so the first public hearing is going to be the Concord Masonic Corporation, 58 Monument Square, to install a stone bench in the front lawn. It's here for the Masonic Corporation. Anybody there?
I think Maynard is, but he's muted.
Yes, I am here.
Okay, good, excellent, welcome. Would you be so kind to present briefly what is the plan you are proposing, and we will be supported by the material that we have on the website.
Thank you. I am Maynard C. Getchell Forbes, also known as Maynard Forbes. I live at 27 Concord Green, Unit 3. And I appear before you as a member of the Board of Directors of the Concord Masonic Corporation, the entity that owns the property at 58 Monument Square. My purpose this evening is to request approval and a certificate of appropriateness for our request to install a 5-foot-long granite bench on the lawn of the Concord Masonic Building. The bench will be placed 3 feet in from the sidewalk and near the property line with Monument Hall, owned by the Holy Family Church. This location is about the center of the tour bus stop on Monument Square, recently established by the Concord Tourism Director and other town departments to facilitate parking for tour buses. We hope that the bench will provide a welcome to bus passengers who arrive on the square and a place for weary returnees to wait for the bus. The bench top will be gray granite, 5 feet, i.e. 60 inches, by 1.5 feet, 18 inches, by 5 inches thick. It will be supported by 2 legs, 15 inches tall, 14 inches wide, and 5 inches thick. There will be an inscription on the front of the top indicating Corinthian Lodge 1797 with the Masonic square and compasses at either end of the inscription. The inscription will be 3-inch letters and numbers centered using a Latin font, sandblasted into the granite. The bench will be placed on a concrete base that will be 4.5 feet in length or depth from the sidewalk, 3 feet in width, and 4 inches thick. There will be a 3-foot base underneath the concrete. DigSafe will be contacted prior to any digging takes place, as there are water, gas, and cable utilities in this area. The significance of the inscription is that Corinthian Lodge is one of the oldest Masonic lodges in Massachusetts. It was instituted by Paul Revere here in Concord in 1797, when Revere was the Grand Master of Masons in Massachusetts. The lodge initially met at the courthouse that was then located where Monument Hall is today. And then they met in several other meeting places around the town until 1820, when the town of Concord and Corinthian Lodge agreed to construct a brick structure to replace the wooden schoolhouse on the lot that had burned to the ground in 1819. The new structure had the schoolhouse on the first floor and the lodge on the second floor. At that time, or at the time it was built, the front of the building was on the road, now Monument Square. In the 1880s, the building was moved back 40 feet to its current location, and a basement was established underneath. The Concord Masonic Corporation was created in 1920 to deal with funding, construction, and administration of the newer portion of the building that now includes the new lodge room and the dining hall. The Masonic Corporation now owns and administers the entire property. Thus ends the history lesson, and back to the request for approval. Other questions?
Thank you very much. I see that there's a bench description in the material supplied with the application. Does it represent exactly the plans for the bench in terms of dimensions, appearance, and materials?
The picture that you see is similar to one just down Lowell Road, and it is basically what we are proposing to establish on our property. Okay, so as a matter of procedure, we will require a diagram of the proposed bench with exact dimensions and a description of the materials before I believe the application can be approved. This may become strictly an administrative matter. So what I will do right now is open the application for discussion. Catherine Schartner.
Okay, there we go. I'm intrigued by this because are you, Mr. Forbes, as a group putting this up as a handy bench, or is it really more of a bit of a monument? I'm not sure. I don't know if that really matters, but I'm just wondering if it would sort of be considered more of a monument than a bench per se, because of the inscription on it. I don't really have any issues with it. One thing I would wonder is if you think it will get a lot of use, if is it going to be on bricks like the photograph here, because there will be, you know, a bit of a divot in the grass from people's feet, and so will that be maintained, the lawn?
The the bricks are deceiving. Our current plan is to have it a concrete base, not bricks. It would, yes, it would be manicured around with as the grass grows, so that it is neat. And excuse me. I'm happy that the meeting is here in my desk. I don't know. Have I answered your question? I'm trying to remember what.
Yes, yeah, on the base. And then I had sort of the vague question about, I just, is this, I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to do with my approval, but I am curious. Are you putting up a bench because you thought, you know, we should have a bench out here, or is it more, we should have something commemorative for 1797 out here and a bench would be handy?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that interspersed with the tour crowd, and to see that there is a Masonic lodge there, it might provide a little bit of interest to them.
Oh, sorry, your speaker reception is
I will try to be more clear. You understand me now?
I can hear you. I can. There's still some static, but and would you, again, since you mentioned that Paul Revere was your
He was the Grand Master of Masons in Massachusetts, and he established some 27 or 29 lodges
oh wow.
in the 3 years that he was the Grand Master. 1797 was the 3rd year, and he established Corinthian Lodge in June of 1797.
Would you happen to have anything about that anywhere?
About
Paul
his,
Revere being, you know, since he was arrested in Concord and well near it. I guess it's like,
Lexington.
I probably can provide you with something. Yeah.
no, I just didn't know if that would be something that would be coming later.
If you're interested in it, I'm happy to provide it to you.
No, it's not for me to decide. Okay, sorry. I just find this very intriguing, and it looks good to me, and no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. Dennis.
I have no problems with this at all. I think it's a nice addition. I think the people from the buses will appreciate it. It is a bit of a commemoration and an announcement of the lodge, but I think that's a nice fact, and I think it's appropriate to have it there. And I thank the Masons for considering doing this for the town and the visitors. And Maynard, I thank you for the history lesson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I understand that the lodge is open a couple of times a year for an open house, and I would be happy for a group of 2 or 3, if there are members of the committee that would like to tour the building. I'd be happy to show it to you.
Great.
Thank you very much, Catherine, Miss Mast.
Yes, so just to sort of jump upon the wagon that Kate and Dennis have set up, you know, I think that it's, to me, especially looking at sort of the history of the Masonic organization and, you know, how it's changed over the years and, you know, kind of awareness building around it. I mean, I think this is very nice. And, you know, certainly from the perspective of just the physical structure of the bench, I think it will be very useful and certainly handy, and aesthetically, I have no objections to it whatsoever. I do like that it brings a little bit of a historical reference and foundation to the lodge. So, again, no objections. I think it's a nice project.
Thank you, Catherine. Henry.
Yes, just to echo Kate Chartner's comments having to do with the base. The sidewalk there is relatively new, and I think that the concrete connection that goes all the way to the sidewalk is a very good idea. I have no objection to this.
Thank you, Henry. Melinda.
I have no objection, but I think it'd be a nice idea if you had a small plaque on the side that said something to the effect that Paul Revere made this, this was his third lodge that he helped get installed in this town. And because right now what I'm looking at doesn't tell me anything that I can relate to. So I just think it'd be nice, given this history, that if you just had something small, like there are in other places in town, that identified this with a sentence or two, I think it'd be lovely. But if that's not what you have in mind, that's fine too, because I think it'll be just nice to have the bench there.
As I mentioned earlier, there are written histories of the lodge and the property. I'd be happy to share them with you. And again, I would be more than happy to take a group through the building so you can see what's inside.
I guess my point would be, though, that it would be nice for the people who will be getting off these tour buses and sitting on this bench of yours, if they're not going to be going inside one of the 3 times a year that you're open, be nice if there was a little plaque that said something that they could read.
You have any other comments, Belinda?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My impression is that what this bench is, it's the establishment of a historic reference. And I think I'm going to lean towards what Melinda and Catherine were saying, in the sense that this may be a very practical bench for people to sit nearby the bus stop, but this is also a great opportunity to make people understand what has been going on there, at least since 1797, and all the people that already have their own right to be remembered as historic references also have a role, such as Paul Revere. So I would be very much in favor of incorporating into the design of the bench a short history that could be imprinted in letters over the bench. And, there are many examples of that. One that I particularly remember is in Princeton University, when the words of a very famous preacher are etched in the bench, and it's in a secluded place, which offers a lot of opportunity for reflection, which would be sort of similar in the sense that somebody may be coming by, find the bench, and then have the opportunity to read something relevant about the history of the Masonic Lodge and the role of Paul Revere in its foundation. So I will strongly support that the design be revised to incorporate those historic references that have been referred to. As far as the application itself is concerned, I have to worry about the bureaucratic things, and I will reinstate again that we're going to need a very detailed set of drawings that indicate the materials, the sizes, and so forth. But I would strongly suggest that the references that have been commented upon before be incorporated as well. I think that would be a great asset. The applicant will have an opportunity again at the end to add some more information to the application, but I'm going to ask whether there are any public comments. Well, in the absence of public comments, I will ask the applicant whether he will be receptive to considering incorporating the historic facts that have been referred to, and whether he will be willing to submit. Catherine, whether the applicant will be willing to submit a revised application that has this information. I believe that it's a great opportunity. So, Mr. Forbes, what do you think?
I think that some sort of a plaque, possibly in the doorway, as opposed to having to have a separate item on the lawn, would be something that we could do. That would go into more detail than Corinthian Lodge 1797.
Yeah, and my impression that would be in the surface of the bench, an inscription could be made as well, which would avoid the necessity of putting a different structure around. I don't know how would that suit to you.
I suppose we could modify the words on the front to indicate Corinthian Lodge instituted by Paul Revere in 1797.
Well, that is a very good solution. So would you be willing to have this application continued, and so you would have the opportunity to present such design? The design is going to need to be presented anyway in terms of having the detailed drawings.
Yes.
All right. So in the absence of any more public comments, I will ask the commission for a motion to continue the application of the Concord Masonic Corporation.
Do we want to continue the application?
I would like to continue it because I would like to see the exact inscription that will be on the side. And I will need to see also detailed plans for the bench itself. Once we do the continuance, the approval, it's likely to be automatic, but I think that we should have all the information together, and we should have the opportunity to add more information to the side of the bench at the discretion of the applicant. The applicant may come back later and say that he doesn't think that it's necessary, in which case we can consider approving it at that time. On the other hand, it's up to the commission to say whether you want to approve right away.
How much detail do you want on the materials?
Well,
the bench will be of similar construction as the bench at the Ann Chamberlain property, 2 buildings out on Lowell Road.
Yeah, that is correct. Just as a matter of clarification, the commission must have detailed references about what is being proposed and what is being constructed. And those plans are actually the reference that support the application, and against the built object is compared to. So we really need to have a drawing that says exactly what are the materials, what's the length, and probably at least 2 or 3 projections from the top, from the side, and from the front. And that is going to be required anyway. We unfortunately cannot be used reference such as similar to something else, because that something else may disappear and then no longer have the reference point.
Okay. If you would like a motion, I make a motion to continue the application for 58 Monument Square. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
For the applicant to provide further material detail to be reviewed at the next meeting.
Any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, I'll do a roll call. Kate Sharpner,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Melinda,
Aye.
And I am an I as well. So we'll see you January 26th.
January 26th. Okay,
That is correct. Thank you so very much.
okay, thank you.
Okay, the next application, it's Lydia Gregoret and Charles Wilson, 229 Lexington Road, the American Mile Historic District, to replace one window and French doors. These are my neighbors.
Oh, really?
Yes,
What number are you?
410.
Oh, okay. So you probably pass by our house all the time.
Just about 4 or 5 times a day as a minimum.
So it's a fairly straightforward request for a certificate to replace. We've replaced windows and doors with this exact same material, which is the Pella. It used to be called Pella Architect Series. Now it's called Traditional Reserve. The windows will be made of they're wood windows. They're called, it's not true divided light, but it's because they vacuum sealed. It's called integrated light technology. So unlike the existing window, which just has grills in it, the new windows are going to look more like, they will be more like true divided light, and they're the exact same windows that we already have replaced. So if you look at the top picture, that's the window we'd like to replace. And the reason we're replacing it is because it has it's rotted in the bottom corners. And I've checked with Marvin, who made the old windows, and they no longer are able to make a sash that we could replace it with. So we're going to have to replace the whole window. And if you, I guess, go down to the lower pictures, I don't know. Yeah. So we already have the exact windows and doors. If you look at the top level with the shutters and then the other window towards the back, that is the same product. And the French door here in the front is also the same product as well. And then if we go to the next photo, that shows the other side of the house. This is our driveway side, and the front door is under where those columns are. So the French door that we plan to replace is right there under that Ukrainian flag. And again, that's it's some cheap door. It just, the grills constantly fall out of it and the doors don't seal well. So we'd like to replace them with a more modern, more well insulated and more well operable door. And everything will be painted. The number of lights will be consistent with what we have there, and everything will be painted the same color. We're not going to change the color of the trim or anything like that. It's Navajo white is the color.
Very good. Thank you very much. Are there any specs for the windows themselves? The ones usually supplied by the manufacturer.
Like what exactly specs would you like to well, there is this brochure that I passed along. So the windows are made of wood on the inside and the outside. In terms of, are you talking about like I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it shows here. So in the top here, the grills, it shows the so we would choose the integrated light technology option, which is yes, thank you. It's that option there, which is what we have on all of the other windows that have been approved for in certificates number 11-29 and 17-88.
Perfect. I'm referring to usually to the technical specs that the manufacturer supplies with the windows, which is a bunch of very technical numbers and so forth, which it's kept basically for reference. So we have documentation what was installed.
Yes, I do have the quote, which has all the details.
Yeah,
if you're looking for.
Well, we are not interested at the actual dollar number, but we would be interested, in measurements in inches and the Usually window manufacturers provide lots of information.
Yeah, no,
Just get
it's
as a
very
reference.
detailed. Do you want me to just, I can just like quick look that
No,
up right
no,
now?
we don't
Now
need
and
to
just tell
review it. It just needs to be included with the documentation that supports the application. And, if it's not currently a part of the package that was sent with the application, that can be added at a later time, and that it's just administrative matter.
Okay.
Which we just want to be able to document exactly what was installed and so forth. And sometimes it's very helpful because, way down the line, there may be another installation, and they can refer to those documents in terms of knowing what was placed there before.
Okay.
So all right, so I'll ask I'll ask Dennis first, which is our resident expert on Windows, to speak.
Yeah,
Any comments?
I don't have any problems with this. I gather that it's a newish building. I don't know the date of the house, but I don't think you're talking about 18th or 19th century windows here that you're replacing.
No,
and
the house is 1949. It was a veterans home, and then it was extensively added onto by the owners immediately before us in like the mid 1990s.
Yeah, I think your windows are dealing with the same problem that a lot of people have of pine grown too fast and windows made of it, and they don't hold up. So I think you're stuck with bad windows from that period, and so I have no problem with what you're proposing.
Thank you, Dennis. Catherine.
I also have no problem with this proposal and project. I think it just sounds like necessary upgrades for the structure and the stability of the house. So I think it's fine.
Thank you, Henry. Where's Henry?
He's muted.
Henry, you have any comments?
I was unclear from the brochure whether those were 3 options, and if so, whether one of them was chosen.
You mean the 3 divided light options? Or
Yes.
which we're choosing the integrated light technology, which is what we've chosen for the other windows thus far that we've replaced. They're the most
Right.
realistic looking to true
Yes.
divided light.
And was that the one at the upper left or the lower right? They both are called that.
The lower right.
Right. Okay.
I think, are we talking about the same? Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yes.
integral light technology, correct.
So does that one have the interstitial that is between the glass?
It has like, it
Nothing-
looks like, yes, there is something between the
Yeah.
glass. It is
That's
like,
good.
I mean, if you look up real into it, it's like, I don't know, gray foam. I'm not sure what it's made of.
Yes. I don't oppose this.
Thank you, Henry. Melinda,
I think it's fine.
that was brief. Catherine.
It's Kathleen.
Kathleen, I'm sorry.
Kathleen, I'm an Irish citizen.
Oh.
Appropriate maintenance, no problems with it.
Thank you very much. And I have no objections whatsoever. So are there any comments from the public? Okay, in the absence of comments, I will ask the commission for a motion.
I move to approve the application for 229 Lexington Road as submitted.
Seconds?
Second,
All right, Kathleen,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Catherine,
aye.
Melinda,
I
and I'm an I as well. So congratulations. And just make sure
Thank you.
that you provide the HTC with the specs for the windows as described. You see,
Yes,
it's what comes with the windows themselves. Actually,
Okay.
I have
Cool.
changed windows a few times.
Okay, yes, I will do that. Thank you.
All right, so now we will move to other business, which is meeting minutes that we have from 11:03 and 11:22. I read.
And I can go now?
Yeah, you are free to go.
Oh,
Thank you
I'm
so much.
excused. Thank you.
You are excused. Don't collect 200. So we have other minutes from 11:03 and 11:22. I look at them. I didn't see anything of objectionable.
I looked at 11:03 and had no comments. I was not there for 11:22.
Any other comments, or should make a roll call to approve the minutes? Is everybody comfortable with approving the minutes after a motion?
I read and approved the 11:22 and did not attend the 11:03 meeting.
Okay.
So Henry and I combined can make one. We can make one motion to approve both.
Right.
Okay. I think that we probably can approve the minutes, but if the commission wants to have a little more time to look at them, that'd be fine. Keep in mind that our next meeting is at the end of January, because there's a conflict with a special town meeting. So it's going to take a while if we don't approve them tonight to have them approved. So I would nudge that we approve them, but it's up to you to make the decision.
I move that we approve the minutes for November something.
3 on November
30.
22.
Yes.
Any seconds?
Second,
All right. So Melinda,
Aye.
Henry, you're muted. Henry, you agree with approving the minutes? Henry, can you hear me?
I don't think you can.
I can now. Internet is very unstable.
Yeah. We're voting whether we're approving the minutes from 11:03 and 11:22.
If I'm allowed to vote, I vote
Yes.
aye.
Yes. Okay. Catherine,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Kathleen,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. All right, so we leave that aside. Now, there's another administrative matter that under ordinary circumstances, we will be electing a chair, vice chair, and a secretary for the year 2023. However, because of various circumstances, not all members of the commission that will be participating, that will be members of the commission, have been officially incorporated into it. So I wanted to make a motion that we postpone the appointment or the vote for chair, vice chair, and secretary for the next meeting on January 26th.
I second that. Wait, did you make?
No,
the
I cannot. No, I didn't make the motion.
Right.
I suggest that we make that motion. You have to make the motion.
I move that the commission postpone its election of officers until the meeting of January 26th, 2023.
Seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, then Kathleen,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Catherine.
I think I already said aye.
Okay. Henry, I'm not looking. I'm just trying to think.
There's only one of me. Aye.
Aye, okay.
Trouble with the Kates tonight.
And I'm an aye as well. All right, so we have some work for next week. And in an informal basis, I wanted to ask, I see that Bill Hewitt is here. So if he has any comments or any questions that he may want to have asking from the whole commission when when he formally joins, I will have the pleasure of giving more details about Bill. But other than that, I think that there's nothing else. So I would.
Oh, wait, quick
yes.
question. Quick
Yeah.
question for the chair.
Yes.
I was looking ahead to the next meeting to see what was, and that's a much fuller agenda. And I happen to notice that there's going to be a resubmission from Mike Bushnell for 615 Lowell.
I don't have any official information about that. The only information that I have is the public information that we have discussed before. Ms. Anne may step in and forbid me to make any further comments. But as you know, because you are all members of the commission, we met with a select board and with a town council. And it is my understanding that the applicant had long conversations with town officials, and that a new application will be submitted. As of course, the position that we have maintained all along as a commission is that we'll be happy to consider all applications that come before us, and that will all be judged in their own merits without any prejudice or without any other factors participating in its approval or denial. So that's all I can say.
There should be more information coming before your next meeting.
Sorry?
There should be more information coming before your next meeting.
I understand that I will be contacted, and I will share that with all members of the commission, and I'm looking forward to having Bill Hewitt and Welcome Clay included in those conversations, because that's the reason that we have a commission, so we all can chip in.
Okay. I just didn't know where things stood with regards to his and Archstone's threats of a lawsuit. The
Right. Why don't we, as we said at the last or a recent meeting, this can be discussed in an executive session. And you will probably have an opportunity to do that before the next meeting.
Okay.
But I will add a piece of information, and this is not part of an executive meeting, and it's not privileged information. The commission has been involved in legal actions before, and one of the decisions that the commission has made, and this has been made on very solid logical and ethical foundations, is that whenever, and this happened before, and many of you may not remember it because maybe Dennis remembers. Dennis is the other conscious. There was an applicant who actually sued the commission after having a disagreement on
Louise, as this pertains to something that should be discussed in executive session.
I don't think that this has to be discussed in executive session, and I will take issue with that, because the information that I'm describing is available to the public, and I will mention, and I will not mention any parties in particular, but there have been 2 occasions in the past where we collectively as a commission have refused to discuss applications when there is a legal matter involved, because we have taken the position that we may be biased by the threat of a legal action, and that if we approve the application, it would be constructed as having been under duress. And if we deny it, it's because it's constructed as it was a matter. And it's all documented, it's all in the minutes, and you can go to the minutes and find out. And I think that Dennis remembers that, and I do. And I'm not mentioning any names, but I'm just mentioning the principles that were applied. So all those things will be taken into consideration, and it's just a matter of what the commission, as a commission, decides. There's absolutely nothing else that we have to worry about. This is not a matter of executive executive privilege or anything of that sort. This information is being given to you for context.
Okay.
And if you want to look at the previous minutes, you see they're publicly available.
Well, I will keep my eyes peeled for upcoming updates prior to that meeting.
Okay.
And that was all I had to say.
All right.
Besides pointing out Dennis's cinema verite. Has anyone else noticed that Dennis has like half black screen?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of my cameras is dead for some
very
reason.
dramatic.
I took a screenshot, Dennis. I'm gonna show you what it looked like. It's very enigmatic.
It is.
I don't know
it
why
is.
it didn't connect when I connected it. I don't know. Anyway,
Dennis, we have a whole new set of feelings about you now.
that's my dark side.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like a voyeur.
Right. It's like, oh, he's so mysterious.
I am speechless. I've been watching half of Dennis, and the other half I don't know what it is.
Who knows what's
Maybe
going
an
on.
evil component.
You don't want to know.
I
It's up to all
recovered
of us
from
to decide.
from Kathleen hairdo, but I have not been able to recover.
Okay, time to leave.
Well, time to leave. I want a
I
motion
vote
to
to adjourn.
adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Seconds.
Second.
All in favor?
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
evening to everyone. Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.